Alright, well, let's see if I can fix this scene from Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Hello, my name is Xander, and this is the Kiss Army Things YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here and clicking on this video. So, over the last 2 years, I've been taking a look at some scenes from Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park and analyzing them. We've been talking about the good and the not so good, and doing our best to transform the not so good into something that actually is good, something that's actually viewable. Whether that's replacing the visual effects, or adding in new sound effects, or just re-editing the entire scene altogether. And no, I am not a professional, I'm not a visual effects artist. This is just kind of, fun for me. I'm just a huge Kiss fan. I have been having a lot of fun and learning a lot. And that's exactly why I thought we could try and tackle this scene here today, the one in the alley where we meet Android Gene for the first time, Robot Gene, one of Devereaux's creations that's meant to undermine Kiss, ruin their reputation, and foil their concerts at Magic Mountain. And I'm choosing this scene in particular because of the success in the last video that we had with the fire breathing. Honestly, I did not expect that good of a result, and so I kind of want to try that again, repeat that, but ultimately just take this scene to the next level. And obviously we are seeing some of the same issues here that we were last time, right? The fire element that's used is not convincing and it's poorly composited. Basically, we just don't feel the same way these guys do. I mean, those are some great reactions. So we need to remove the existing fire that's already in the scene. I'm using After Effects to edit this, and I know exactly what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, Xander, you're just going to use that content aware fill trick that you used last time. That's been your get out of jail free card and your secret trick this whole time. Well, no. Unfortunately not. I already tried that, and it didn't work, and that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this video. I was like, oh, we got a challenge? Okay, hey, I'm ready for a challenge. I wonder if I even saved those results, the content aware fill results. Let me look. Yeah, so you can clearly see there's this really hard edge right here, this jagged edge. It's super noticeable, it looks terrible. And even though I tried tweaking it and doing different things, it just, for whatever reason, it didn't work. There was either really noticeable edge or there was some leftover fire from the shot. So clearly I have to approach this differently and come at this from a different angle. And I'm starting to think that the solution may actually be easier than I thought originally. I mean, if the goal is to just hide the fire by putting the background back over top of it, I mean, there's no fire here just a few seconds before he breathes fire, so maybe if I just copy this part of the background and essentially pick it up
and push it somewhere else,
I may actually have a passable clean plate, or at least something that's better than it was before. And that's the goal, as long as it looks better than before. Now we have to actually put realistic fire into the scene for Gene to breathe, and this is a really good time to talk about something very important that I've learned while doing all this, and that's matching the frame rate. And all this sounds like common sense until you're actually doing it, and then for whatever reason it just all goes out the window. But clearly if you're going to add something into your scene, you don't want them, to move on different frames. You want everything to move in unison. But I'm a noob, and so I was just happy to learn that in After Effects, if you set one keyframe like this and another like this, then After Effects will just fill in the rest for you, if you will. And it still was very time consuming, but if you go back and look at the first video I did with the lightsabers, and you're sitting there thinking, those lightsabers look like they're moving just a little too smoothly. That may have been the problem. The lightsaber effect was moving on frames when the rest of the scene wasn't. And yes, I am purposely making this fire a little bit smaller than the fire in the last one. It could be really huge and gigantic and fill his entire mouth, but I'm doing this for two reasons. Number one, if the fire's too big, you won't even be able to see it. I mean, most of it's hanging out of frame already as it is, so I want to make sure that the body of the fire is in the frame as much as possible, but without being too small. And number two, this is kind of a warning shot anyway. I feel like that last fire in the last one, that one was full-blown, full power. This one's like Robot Gene saying, huh? Want a piece of this? Well, come get it. I don't know, any bigger, and I feel like the fire is just going to burn these guys to a crisp, and then I got to go and edit fire all over the ground in the next shot and the next one, and no thank you. No thank you. However, this is another good time to mention something else I've learned that I want to share with everybody. This is the real secret sauce. This is what really helped sell the last one I did in the previous video. I just didn't really talk about it all that much in depth because there's so much that's going on with these videos, but that would be lighting or fake lighting. I'm not really sure how to explain it. I mean, obviously one of the reasons why this doesn't look good in the first place is, yeah, the fire doesn't look like actual fire, but even if it did, it still wouldn't look right because the fire isn't interacting with its environment. When Gene breathes fire on stage, the flames light up his entire torso, his face is bright, looks like a massive ball of light, but without that it just looks plain and boring and not believable enough. So while I go in and add in this secret ingredient, I want to just real quickly pause and say that that might be the only thing, one of the only things that the new Star Wars projects get right, I think, in my opinion, is the interacting of the lightsaber blade with its environment. The sabers in the originals didn't do that. Vader's suit should have been shrouded in red from the glow of his saber. The prequels didn't either, though, to be honest, except for Yoda. Obviously, he's a CG character with a CG light reflecting off a CG object, so I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But the sabers, for the rest of them, don't really have that interactive glow. But today we have LEDs on set, and we can actually swing these things around and have the colors of the blade painting the scene beautifully and the characters. But anyway, yeah, you can see how this has made all the difference. Look at this before and after. And I know some people are going to say that the fire should be even more red, even more orange, or that reflective glow should be even more dramatic and blown out. But my goal here isn't to overdo anything or overcompensate. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. I want to keep it subtle, dial it back, and, make it feel like it's still part of the movie as opposed to some cheap, inexpensive effect. Which by definition 100% is. But now what's really going to help take this to the next level, I think, is sound effects. It's a shame because this whole scene has some really great shots in it, but could really use some sound enhancement. Great song choice, though.
You're my food, you're my water.
But even going from this to this and this to this, I mean, that goes a long way. I guess I might as well just do it all. Do the entire scene. I mean, I'm in too deep at this point. And I should have known this was going to happen too, because when I was watching this scene back before all this, I noticed that the time in between the sound of Gene bursting through the wall and then the actual bursting of the wall were off. Or at least enough for me to notice, I guess. I don't know. But that needs fixed. And just by fixing that one small thing, we've already offset the sound from the visual part of the rest of the video. But for now, I can just mute the video and then I will just add Radioactive back in later. And I just never liked the transition from this scene to the next scene. I mean, it's not the worst, but it just feels so abrupt and it's not very smooth. So how about we make an isolated vocal track and take just the word radioactive and we'll add like a cool echo effect to it.
She's radioactive.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and just get to work so that you can see the final result. And when I get back, I will let you know how you can do that. So please hang tight. First off, huge thank you to anybody who is still watching the video up until this point. I hope this is fun and entertaining for you. I hope that you're learning something like I am. And if you're just as anxious to see the final result as I am, then be sure to click the video that appears on your screen at the end of this video, or head to the description. It's the first link in the description, whichever is easiest for you. I do have to break these up into 2 videos now. Number 1, their length, they do kind of run long, but that just means that next time you won't have to scroll through this entire video just to get to the good part next time. But also copyright, okay? I don't own the movie, I don't own the music, and so I think it's only fair that there's 2 videos, and the one video that will most definitely be copyrighted will be able to be claimed by the appropriate parties. But anyway, this final result video will actually also be the next video in our new Kiss Meets the Fandom playlist on the channel, where anyone can catch up with the other clips and breakdowns that I've done. Okay, so you've made it this far. Be sure to check out this scene. It's been completely re-edited with new sounds and new visuals. And then watch out for new episodes of the Kiss Army Things podcast here on YouTube. Hit subscribe. My name is Xander, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.